Just starting the recording now. It's definitely getting better. Alrighty. Woohoo! Welcome to the We Are Self-Made podcast. This show is not your traditional show on entrepreneurship with critic quotes about failing fast and often, but an honest look at the good, bad, and ugly. It's an experiment documenting the journeys of 7 entrepreneurs over time. We choose a time frame of 6 months. Today I get the 4th update out of 5 from Felipe. He's known for building now several dropshipping stores. And hi Felipe, good morning. Thanks for coming back on the show. Good. Happy New Year. We haven't spoken in New Year. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about Myanmar. We're gonna meet after for coffee. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy, content are you right now? Yes, nice. That's nice to hear. We don't need to find a why for a 10 for on a happiness scale. Definitely the sun is coming back here in Chiang Mai. It was rainy the last 3 days, so I feel my mood is going up too. And maybe it's Friday, Felipe. Okay. Okay, awesome. How do you feel about your progress over Christmas? We spoke shortly after Black Friday, end of November. Your first store got like plummeted in sales, whereas your second store picked up tremendously, what you didn't expect because you started this one in summer. Just give us a general overview, like where are your stores, where's your progress, did you feel the holiday season kicked in terms of sales, in terms of your productivity, what is going on? Cool. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Felipe, I remember that we discussed your main store, your baby, um, a while back ago, even in April, and you were always like kind of hey, everyone's saying the website looks shitty, I should do something with it, but it's converting. So what shall I do? And I was always like, hey man, you are the expert. And then we always try to find an answer around, should you redesign the website even though it's converting? And in November the sales plummeted, and now you redesigned the website. Did you need it, like, oh, did you need this kind of sales plummeting to realize you need to redesign the website, or what was the reasoning behind it that you finally changed it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 And I must agree. I mean, I just have a look at the website, and even before we started, you sent me the link, and it looks much better. And I can tell that there's design and development work involved that is beyond a normal template that you buy and then put up the store with, right? And I like the fact that even though you had this gut feeling of, oh, I might need to change the store, but it's converting so well, so I'm not doing it until I get really proof, right? Facts that show me sales plummeting. Or you got an opportunity on the other hand, like a friend coming and you can quickly fix it instead of you searching for a designer, instead of you searching for a developer, which is all overhead cost, and I think this is what I'm learning from you over and over again is like, the business mindset. When does something need to be changed? And a lot of people, me included, we would change directly, and we would get caught up in the nitty gritty details of changing it, the logo, the color. So I wouldn't say that's procrastination. There's always two sides to it. How I see it in your world, you were actually smart by not changing it directly, but collecting data and seeing when an opportunity arises, then you jump on it, and that's what you do really, really well. I want to acknowledge you for it. That's what I'm learning from you. Is there, in terms of monthly wins, you said like you almost hit half of the sales of November, which is nice. The other store is still doing a little shaky, and January right now doesn't look really good. Is there anything else that you can put on the board as a win? Okay, I know. Yeah, yeah. And I remember that you started from 3K and you wanted to reach 5 to 10K after the experiment in 6 months. And we identified two tactics: either growing your first and second store with more suppliers. That's what you tried, and we talked about it in the second and third update, that you kind of rushed the process and the suppliers weren't as good as you thought in terms of quality. And tactic two was starting a new store, and you just brought it up. Is there anything concrete you can talk about it? Is it just an idea, or are you already sitting down and brainstorming ideas? How do you approach this? Um, because up until now, you have been always working alone, right, Felipe? So it's clearly that he wants this. No, I wouldn't say he wants it more than you do, but he puts in a lot of signs that he is willing to work with you and he appreciates your skills. He knows that he can bring in his like kind of German attitude of nitty gritty details that you're not good at. So you could be really complementing each other. Him, the operations, right? And you, the big picture business kind of sense guy. How do you decide on finally making the leap and work with someone? Is this something like, oh, I consider this another experiment and I just do this for a month? Or are you a little stressed about like, how do I make this decision to partner with someone? True. I like this approach. Is there how many moments in the last month had like were apparent that you felt like, oh, I want a team or I want a business partner. I want to work with someone and not be behind my screen alone. Yeah. I yeah. Is exploring a business partnership with someone else versus building your own product, where do you stand on this one as a tactic to grow your monthly income? And in terms of priorities, would you rather start with a business partnership and starting a third store, or would you rather build your own product and push this? Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Let's jump into the second point of our update. So after the monthly win, as you know, we are always talking about what has been left undone. And I remember we put it even into the goals that you want to set up business processes to be able to completely remove yourself from the business. And personally and on the podcast, we have been talking about accounting. And I know this is a topic that sucks. We all struggle with it. Where do you stand with it, with the two of them? I see you scratching your hairs already and moving around. Shit. I hope that he wouldn't ask this question, right? Mm-hmm. Ah. Yeah. And I mean, this is called Parkinson law, right? So you have time until April, and in your mind, even though you're stressing out, and this happens to me too, we all stress out about it. Oh, I should be doing this, blah, blah, blah. But the deadline is in April. So when are we starting to do it? Probably mid-April, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Why do you think you stressed out in the beginning and now you're like calmer? Is it because you realize the deadline is actually in April, or are you more self-confident? What is it? Yeah. And I think this is true for most things in our life, right? Whenever we think about something, how horrible it will be in the future, we freak out. But it's just a future event in our minds, not happening right now. But we are kings in freaking out about the future that isn't there yet. What have you learned the last 6 weeks about yourself, about your business? How how were those learnings helping you to become a better person, a better entrepreneur? Anything worthwhile mentioning? Nice. I like this sentence. Everything is gonna be okay. And I think for for myself, I felt it as well. If friends visit you in a foreign country, this means so much, right? And you know me, I'm sometimes so stuck in my work mode, so focused, even not making time for you, right? I'm just heads down in this funnel vision. But I had like two or three friends coming, and I needed to remind myself every morning why I'm meditating. It's like, hey, these guys not only came for you, but they are here. It doesn't matter if they came for you. It's they're here. Make time for them, and you don't get this time back, right? So I needed to really plant this into my mind. It's like, Danny, whatever you are working on a business side right now can't be that important that you can't make a 1 or 2 hours um, and free yourself up for them. And I even took a day off and like on a Wednesday because I know he would be leaving on a Thursday. So we went on a trip to a waterfall, right? And then I worked on Saturday. This is the flexibility of my work. And I had a hard time though to make really room for this visit. And yeah. Oh, nice. I can. Awesome. I would love to. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing having friends around, they coming to visit you. I mean, it's amazing. I'm really happy for you. Is there, as the last question, as you said, like, okay, the next 2 weeks, like first traveling back and forth, and when we have our last update in 6 weeks, where do you want to be in an ideal setting? Yes. Oh, okay. But good that you saw um, the annoying copycat and that shut him down immediately. Oh, is anything else where you want to be? Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, this is, I feel similarly blessed, and I gonna give you an update in a few minutes. I need your advice on I got a job offer to work with someone. Um, it's this brokerage business I told you about, and he needs help with marketing. So, and this would never have happened if I hadn't come out here, if I hadn't worked on Startup Guys, on the blog, on the podcast, despite my financial troubles. And I spoke about it on the podcast and with you in person that I needed to ask my mom for 2,000 euros and stuff like that. You know, I hit rock bottom, and now I got this job offer, which seems to be too good to be true. So I'm still looking for a hook, but I really want to make a conscious decision and commit then truthfully, right? And that's why I want to meet you in a second. And the reason why I brought it up is just like because I feel similar to what you just said about Chiang Mai coming out here. Um, you know, crazy journey, crazy growth, amazing people I met like you, Callum, John, Hugh, Laura, which isn't around anymore, Sebastian as well. I mean, it's just for anyone listening and thinking about taking the leap, Chiang Mai, it's the place. And you know, last night I presented my first startup and the journey I went through, the 18-month roller coaster at the Fuck Up Nights here in Chiang Mai, in Pun Space, Tapaigate. And there were like around 60, 70 people. And it's just crazy the community that is building up here. And they have a makers lab next door for 3D printing and other wood related workshops. And now Silicon Valley incubators and accelerators are looking to come to Chiang Mai too because it's so much cheaper. It's a pleasant country. So we might see even a shift from lifestyle entrepreneurs to startups as well to have an even broader audience of entrepreneurs. And I know there are a lot of healers and spiritual people in town. There are creative people. So in this sense, Chiang Mai gifted me with a lot of interesting experiences. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I feel like sometimes it's selfish because it's like almost my way to kill my ego, to put my down, declare defeat, and then get rid of this self-betrayal and self-pity. And you're right. I mean, I want to be honest as much as I can, like, and I have nothing to hide. But sometimes I'm also asking myself, is this like the transparency porn? Like, how much is it helpful, right? But for now, I know it helps me to get this out of the system, right? And if listeners can relate to it, if because they have similar struggles, I'm not saying anyone should share this, but I want to take a leap and guide people with my struggles and say, that's totally normal. We all fuck up. We need to ask for money at some point. A business doesn't work out. It's totally normal. And that's why I'm doing it, actually, just to show other people. It's like, hey, see, on paper it looks fine, but in reality, if you scratch the surface and go deep, we all have a bleeding heart or whatever, right? In this sense, Felipe, thanks for being on the show once again. We have one more update to go. I already spoke to John and other people about even continuing the documentation, but we can discuss this when we meet for coffee. I would be open for it, and I'm so grateful that you shared your story and your progress, and looking forward to get you on the show in 6 weeks. Thank you. Bye-bye.